What's going on, guys? Philip here. No, it's been a while, but I don't know. Recently, I've had an urge to speak in front of a camera. I feel like I'm growing as a person, and I kind of want to share with the world. So here it is. So, a bit of context. Who am I? What am I doing? So, hi guys. My name is Philip, and I'm a first-year engineering student at the University of Alberta currently. Quite a hardworking person, I'd say. And I'm just kind of trying to find my way in life, you know? Kind of young, not sure what I'm doing, but I love being good at things. I love being creative and solving problems. Okay, so without further ado, here's 5 things that I learned from my first semester in university as an engineering student. Okay, number one, measure, measure, measure. If you don't measure what's going on in your life, you're not going to change it. What I realized is so engineering is a fair bit of coursework, right? Course load, and I was quite stressed, and it wasn't doing me well for my personal life and how I was dealing with the people around me. And what I realized is that like if you just measure things, they seem to get better. It doesn't make sense, but it also kind of does because like if you want to lose weight but you don't have a scale, how will you know you're losing weight? You know? And so, what like stress basically comes from ambiguity because you want to change something, but you're not sure what's happening, right? So, if you want to change something, you need to know what's happening, right? So, if you want to get better at sleep, measure your sleep. If you want better grades, write out all your assignments and like check how much is this worth? Have I done this? Have I prepared for this, right? And then as you go through there and you have everything laid out in front of you, you'll notice that the stress goes away and you're actually able to focus on enjoying your life. And it's a wonderful change. So once again, if you measure things, maybe you do it on Excel spreadsheets or maybe you just write down a note in your book, your life will get easier, I think. Yeah. So that's one thing I learned from my first semester. Okay. Going on to number 2. Success means nothing. I'm not saying it means nothing, but what I am saying is success is pointless if you have no one to enjoy it with at the end of the day. In my first semester, I worked really hard, but all I was doing was working, and I probably could have worked less and had better results, but I was just so obsessed with working, and so what I realized is that it was leaving me kind of isolated, and I wasn't basically interacting socially as much as I could have. And that's half of the value that you get from a university degree. It's actually the people you meet and the opportunities that you get from that. And so what I realized is that like if you become really uber successful because you work really hard, but you have like no good people around you because you've pushed them all away and you become a terrible bitter person, it's really not worth it at all. So, yeah. So, the second thing I learned was that, like, if you can't enjoy success with good people, it's not worth it. Yeah. So, the third one that I learned was to stop comparing. Yeah. This is kind of a tough one because, especially in school, you're graded by comparison, right? So, you would say, why should I stop comparing? Maybe I'll have better grades if I keep in mind how other people are doing. And yeah, you can look at how other people are doing, but it's never a fair comparison because you could have a loving family and be doing well, and this other person, maybe their parents weren't there, they've had to work 2 jobs and they're doing worse than you, but they also have way more on their plate. And so, not only is it unfair, like logically, to compare between two people how you're doing because you have different things going on in your life, but it's also counterproductive is what I found. Okay, so a big thing with doing well in school or in anything I believe is creating momentum, right? So as you start doing little things right and doing them well, you sort of start to feel good about yourself and you start to do better, and then it snowballs. It's not linear, it's kind of an exponential curve, right? It goes up. And so if you compare, you're essentially stopping that momentum because there's always going to be someone better than you. And so if you're going up and you compare, it's like bringing yourself down, and you don't want to do that. You want things that bring you up. And so, like, if you keep comparing, there's always going to be someone better than you, and you're just going to go, oh, well, what the hell? Why am I doing this? And you're just going to fall over and, I guess, quit or something, right? But if you stop comparing, or more so just compare to yourself, basically, you're going to exponentially improve, because every day you're just going to be worried about, how can I get a little bit better? And if you do that every day, you'll be a damn lot better after a while, you know? Okay. So, number 4, health and image is everything. Okay, so this one's kind of funny. So I got to university, right? All you can eat cafeteria. And I just went crazy. I was eating, I was munching every day. And then midterms hit and I was stressed, assignments, studying all day. And what I did is I stopped running and I stopped lifting as much. And then I started eating shitty food because I was stressed. And I immediately saw, like, my health just took a turn down. And I realized, like, wow, that's a quick way to go bad. And a big thing is like, it's not so much that your health or your fitness is important, but what it does to your mind. Because when you're unhealthy and you're treating yourself like shit, you start to feel like shit about yourself. And then that carries in how you carry yourself throughout your day. And so then basically it's like an exponential down curve. It's the opposite of what we want. We want to go exponentially up, better and better and better. So yeah, so the lesson is basically just do some exercise every day. I don't care if you're tired. Fucking do it. Always makes you feel better. Eat junk food occasionally, but really keep it low. Eat your fucking veggies. Eat your goddamn veggies, okay? Vegetables are good for you. Okay, so that's lesson 4. Health and image, very important. Okay, and lesson 5. Get rid of your dependencies. So we all have them. No one's perfect. It's very hard to go through life without developing some sort of dependency, because life is difficult. And so we may feel better if we abuse things because they make us forget about things. But they don't get rid of the things. So if you look at, like, someone who's an alcoholic, why do they drink? I'm not a psychiatrist, but my guess is that they can forget about tomorrow. But they still wake up tomorrow. And tomorrow's even worse because they were drinking. And so they solve it again by drinking and by drinking. And so for me, in my first semester, I developed a bit of a coffee addiction. It's not too bad, but a coffee addiction. Let's be real. It's not the best thing either. I developed a coffee dependency at the end of the semester. And it was good because coffee makes you feel really good, and you can get a lot more done. And you actually can get more done with coffee. In the short term, I believe. And this is different for other people. Some people, they're not bothered by it at all. But for me, what happened is basically, over the long term, I was getting less and less sleep. And then I would use the coffee to rectify that, which would then in turn give me less sleep the next night. And it was this horrible thing where, I was in the middle of exams, and so I couldn't break the cycle, because when you get off coffee, then there's this huge crash, and you feel like shit. And so I had to keep it going, basically. So what I've been trying to do for this semester is basically get rid of my dependencies. So I'm trying to eat less junk food. I'm trying to no caffeine at all. And yeah, I just want really natural ways of living, because your energy will be really stable if you just don't fuck with it. If you let your energy be how it's naturally meant to be, you go to bed on time, you eat well, you lift, you run, you are going to have incredible energy for the whole day, and it's going to seep into every area of your life. So yeah, those are the 5 lessons that I learned from my first semester as an engineering student at the University of Alberta. Not so much to do with engineering, but I thought it was pretty helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe.